Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going looking at this question from 2014 ordinary level from the junior cert paper. Now these are a lovely question to learn drawing isometric, which is a way of drawing with 3D, of drawing this object. Now these letters are 10 thick, so it's GTI, but the first thing you need to do is you need to draw the grid in isometric. Now it's sorry, 225. Now all the boxes are 15, so if you count them there, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 boxes by 2, 4, 6, 7. So it's 15 boxes by 7 high of 15 millimeters. So you want to get your 30 degree set square, and you want to basically, we want from 0 to 225, and I want to keep, okay, so I'll just adjust that camera there a little bit. I want to keep the 225, which is going to be the end zeros here, and it's 15s. So I'll draw that line pretty light, and I'm going to put dots every 15, 45, 60, 75. Now just roll the pencil a tiny bit. So just remember now, that's on a 30 degree slope. Now what I want to do then is I want to come vertical for 105, which is so vertical for 105, which is going to give me 7 boxes, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90 and 105. And then at the other side, vertical, and I'm going to draw the horizontals, and I'm going to draw this a little bit heavier so that you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. So ideally you draw this as light, so light that you can only barely see these. So all of these T-square up against the side of the board and the 30 degree slope. And now the grids in the other way then are going vertical. So I'll just be careful now to keep it bit inside the grid. I don't really want these lines going outside. It doesn't make a big deal, but it just keeps it a bit neater. So I'll just zoom in there another little bit there so you can see what I'm at. So we want to keep these lines within the grid if we can. Now what these exercises are great to get you used to keeping a pull on the T-square, moving the set square on the T-square, and drawing vertical lines and 30 degree lines and all that. So it's something you need to get good at and get fast at. So there's our grid. Now the next thing here now, I'll just leave that up there, and I'm going to start drawing in. Now what I want here now is a diagonal for the G, starting this off, and there's another diagonal in the top corner, and then it's heavy for 3, so you could go freehand, or you could use the set squares. I would prefer use the set squares. So I'm going to start hitting in the outside of our G. So the diagonals now have to be done though with joining the dots. You can't use the set squares for that. Now it comes up 2 and down 1. So watch out for that. Up 2 and down 1. And then we've got a diagonal on the bottom. And down 1. Diagonal back out the ways. Diagonal in again. Diagonal. Now it goes vertical then for 3. Diagonal. Now I call this horizontal, but when I say horizontal, it's not horizontal with the T-square, but it's parallel to the ground there. So sometimes I often call that horizontal even though it's not really horizontal. So there's our G. Now the next thing then is there's a box of space, and the T starts here, which is 2, 4, 5 full boxes on top. So then diagonal comes into all the way down. And 1 over goes all the way back up. Comes over 2 and a diagonal. So there's our G and our T. And finally then our I starts in the bottom corner. So it goes up 5, up 5. That's a rectangle part. And then the dot comes in, 1 on the bottom, 2 on the top. Diagonal and vertical. Now I'm going to do 3 colors on this, but I'm going to pause it. Sorry about that. Now you missed out on some of that, I think, but you'll figure it out. I'm going to pause it now and do some colors. Okay guys, so I'm after putting some colors on this here now, but okay, we're not done though, because this is the top view and all of these letters are 10 thick, so it's 3D, so they're 10 millimeters thick. So I want to start putting a thickness on these, so I'm gonna extrude it or give it a thickness upwards and to the right. Now I'm going to start with just the I letter here, and you'll get used to this after a while, but let's do the easy parts first. Now you don't need to measure every one of them. It's one way of doing it. I could measure 10 out here on every one of these and go along and join the dots. So if the front is this angle, the back is that angle. This is vertical. So there's our I, and what I might just do with this here is okay, So there's the eye. I've given that a thickness. Now I know this is out 10. Now when you get used to this, right, if that's out 10, this is also out 10. And very important, the line going back here now for the top of the eye, for the dot for the eye, I want to take that all the ways back light, because all of the rest of these are going to be 10 out from that as well. So let's deal with the eye first now and finish the eye off. Okay, so there's our eye finished. Now I'm just putting these lines in it because it's a bit quicker than colouring them all in. It would be nicer to colour them all in. Now, as I was saying, I'm going to do all of the top of this next. So here is the top of the T. Here is the very top of the G. And okay, so I just don't want to be slowing down the video too much by colouring all of those in. Now, let's deal with the T next. So I'm going to just give it back 30-degree slope, 30-degree slope. Now, I know this is 10. And it goes straight up vertical. So whatever the front does, the back does. Until it disappears. And the same thing here. This comes in 10. And it joins to the corner there. So that's our T finished. Okay, so now let's finish off the G, but the G is going to be a little bit trickier, just a little bit. But I'm going to do the right hand side of it first because that's easy enough. So I'm going to just bring the corners out light. I'm going to measure my 10s. So that's heavy out 10. This is heavy out 10. And they join. Then this edge out 10, join. So 10 thick, and that's going to be vertical. Now I'm going to finish off the top of it here. So light, light, 10 heavy, 10 heavy. So I can join them, that's vertical, and that's sloping back to the... No, we're not finished. Okay, because there's one tricky bit left. Now, the tricky bit is you can see into this. Okay, now some of the lines are okay, but not all of them. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to bring these two back. That goes in 10. This is 10. I know I can join them. Now remember, whatever the front is doing, the back is doing. Okay, so because the front of this is vertical, so is the back. Now, we're almost finished, but the front of this is vertical, so is horizontal, which is 30 degrees, and this isometric, so parallel to that. That's all our surfaces done now. I'll just put on the thickness here on these. And that there is our GTI. Now, like I said, you should play around as well with just going a little bit heavier on the outside surfaces here. Just in a little bit. Go a bit heavier on them. And lighter. You can lighten off then as you come in to the centers. So you can go heavier on them there. It just gives it a bit of sort of render, makes it look a bit more realistic. And if it looks better to color them all in heavy, but I didn't want to slow it down. So guys, that there was question 4 2014 ordinary level from the junior cert, and they can be found online in examinations.ie website. So best of luck with that.